All right. Hey guys, welcome back to some crypto. In today's content, we'll talk about BTC on the macro level and what type of price action we could be anticipating over the next like a few weeks going into Q2 and Q3 and all that good stuff, right? So hopefully the sound is good. So let me know if the sound is good, and we'll dive into the analysis on the macro level, right? So let's go ahead and start off with the monthly time frame, right? Using the BLX. So when we take a look at BTC on the macro level, as we've been saying over the last few months regarding the monthly 21 EMA, as of now we just hit our monthly 21 EMA price action just about like a low 28k area. The monthly 21 EMA it is at 27 and a half, give or take. So we'll try to basically get a close above the monthly 21 EMA. That'll be great for the bulls and could be devastating for the bears if bulls manage to close above the monthly 21 EMA over the next like 24 hours, right? As you can see right here, even back in 2019, after we managed to close above the monthly 21 EMA, BTC rallied from like 5,000, low 5,000, all the way up to 14,000, give or take, right? In terms of percentage, we got like over like 150% move. Okay, so back in 2020, same thing. After we pushed above the monthly 21 EMA, we pumped from like a 9k all the way up to 69k, and did not retest it like till the first quarter of 2022 after the breakout above it. So could we get another move like that, right, where BTC going to a breakout above the monthly 21 EMA and not going to retest the monthly 21 EMA for the next like 2 years? That is possible, okay, but we'll see over the next like a few hours if we're going to be able to close above like 27 and a half, give or take, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a 3 weeks basis, right? So if we take a look at BTC on a 3 weeks basis, our indicator, the MACD, just flipped positive. And if you back test it like over the last few years, a 3D MACD, most of the time it is a bullish sign, okay? Whenever your 3D MACD flips positive, right? Sometimes you don't want to wait for your monthly monthly MACD to flip positive, because the monthly MACD could be lagging and price action could be peaking, right? As we're hitting our next like a peak and all that good stuff, okay? So in 2019 monthly, the 3 weeks MACD flipped positive back in May, and you can see May, June, right? We pumped all the way up to just about like a 5k, all the way up to like a 14k, right? So now we're getting another close above the 21 EMA with a positive MACD. So on a 3 weeks basis, price action is extremely bullish when you take a look at it on a 3 weeks basis. Most bears actually not paying attention to the 3 weeks time frame, right? And at the same time, if you go ahead and take a look at the DXY, the DXY is basically printing a potential bearish pattern, and it could be creating a double top, double bottom in this range, and finally, push to the downside. That is possible, okay? Or it could basically print the double top, double bottom, consolidate, and retest the top, depending on how BTC will be performing over the next like over the next like a few weeks and all that good stuff, okay? So let's go back to the BLX chart. So if you take a look at the BLX chart once again on a 3 weeks basis, it is a good sign, right? In terms of like a breakout, okay, in Q2 or even like a Q3, but I don't think like we will be breaking out in Q3 2023, okay? Because BTC likes to move in 6 month to a 12-month cycle. So we just have to be very cautious with that, because we already got our 12-month cycle started like a November 2021 right here, okay? November 2022 we bottom right there. So that was our 12-month cycle. So the current cycle we currently, we're currently making it. It could be a 6-month cycle, no more than 9-month cycle. Okay, but I'm betting on a possible like a 6-month cycle from like a November 2022 up to basically May June 2023, and we will see in terms of like indicators what type of rejection we're going to get once we hit the 50% to 0.618, or we could hit the quarterly resistance up to the mid 40s and all that good stuff, right? But on the 3 weeks, everything looks good. The 2-week cycle, we don't talk about it much, but it is positive, right? The 10-day cycle looks pretty good. And if you take a look at the 10-day cycle, the last 2 pumps we had, right, on the 10D, you can see like started like a January 11th. On the 10D, we pumped nearly 30%, right? Started like a March 12 on the 10D, we pumped another 36%. So got to be paying attention to these 10D cycles, right, and the 7D cycle, right, and all that good stuff. Okay, so on the 10D, we're still looking good above the 21 EMA, above the 50 EMA, and all that good stuff. MACD is positive, so no sign of a macro reversal, right? So let's take a look at on the 7D cycle. So if we take a look at the 7-day cycle, also, got a massive pump, like started like a January 8th, 2023, of course, right? We got that pump. Same thing right here, March 12th, we got another pump. So bulls, they still in control. Just got to try to break out above the 32 resistance, which is just about our 50% pullback, as we've been saying over the last over the last few weeks. We've been saying, like, if we take out the monthly 21 EMA, we'll start to focus on the 50% to a 0.618 pullback, 32 up to 39k, just in terms of like a Fibonacci's, okay, not in terms of Elliott wave and all that good stuff, right? So at the same time, if we go ahead and take a look at the BTC dominance, right? In terms of BTC dominance, started like a late November, early November 2022, the BTC dominance been in favor of our current push, right? You can see like back in 2022, both of these push, right? They're pretty similar, okay? We pushed from like a 40% all the way up to like a 48%, and at the same time, right here, we're pushing like from 48% all the way up to like we're pushing from like 40% all the way up to 48%, right? But think about it, right? January 2022, up to basically May, June 2022, the BTC price action was dumping, right? But the BTC dominance was pushing to the upside. We got a similar move right here. The BTC dominance is pushing to the upside from 40% all the way up to 48%. And the BTC price action, is pumping like from 15k give or take all the way up to 29k. So in a similar pattern, just like that, right? So what does it mean? It simply means like Alt will be taking a step back while BTC is pushing to the upside. And it at the same time, it means like BTC is extremely bullish, right? Whenever the BTC dominance is pushing to the upside, and at the same time BTC moving to the upside, it is most of the time a bullish pattern, right? So Alt could be taking a step back over the next like a few days, weeks, or even month, or the entire 2023, until BTC decides to take a step back, and Alt could get a big alt season and all that good stuff, right? But as of now, for Alt to get some sort of a pump, right? Even Ethereum, if we take a look at Ether BTC, hey, what's up, Pablo S Crypto? Thanks a lot for tuning in. So if you take a look at Ether BTC, it is topping out. Even on the monthly basis, it looks even better on the monthly basis, because we're getting a monthly rejection. We've been moving sideways since like May 2021, so it's almost like 3 years. Ether been hanging just about like on average 7%, all right, of BTC. So it is about time for for the Ether bears, right, to show up and get the job done and try to push the price down to the macro support trend line right there, or even down to the 5%, which is just about like a 0.047 to a 0.05, okay, BTC. So in terms of indicators, you can see clearly the Ether BTC chart. It is in a macro, right, downtrend. So what does it mean? It simply means if Ether BTC going to be dropping down, it means like the BTC dominance most likely going to be going up, possibly up to like a 53 to a 58%, right? You could also look at it in terms of like a Fibonacci. You can see like right there in terms of Fibonacci, we almost just about like a 382, but we could be pushing all the way up to a 50% to a 0.618. And in terms of like a moving averages, breaking out above the monthly 21 EMA, it is not a good sign for alt, right? So you think about it, back in 2019, after we broke out above the monthly 21 EMA, just about like a 58%, we pumped all the way up to 72%, right? So in terms of percentage, right, we could be saying like a 25-30% move. A 25-30% move will take us just about like a 58%. So which is going to be 0.618 at the same time, right? So if we take a look at the Ether dominance also, right? The Ether dominance, it is just hanging tight, just about like a 19%. And we talk about it right here back in December 2021. We said the Ether dominance is peaking and we could be dumping all the way down to 14%. So that 14% retest, right, could coincide with the BTC dominance going all the way up to a 53 to a 55%, give or take. All right, let's go back to the BTC dominance. Yep, going back up to the 53 to a 58%. But I don't think the BTC dominance will be going up to that level, right? If Ether BTC doesn't drop low, it doesn't mean Ether USD will drop. All I'm saying is Ether BTC, okay? Because Ether BTC could stay around like a 1800, right, to 2500. And BTC could pump all the way up to 40k to 50k, give or take, right? And Ether might just stay below 2000. That is possible. Okay, that would basically dump the Ether dominance and pump the Ether, and basically pump the BTC dominance. Okay, and dump the Ether dominance. So if we go back to the monthly time frame right here, so just got to keep an eye on the Wmacd. Just because we could get a positive Wmacd doesn't mean like we're going to be pumping straight up. So a positive Wmacd on the monthly basis could mean like we already hit the top. Okay, it could mean like we already hit the top. So I wouldn't be focusing too much on the monthly Wmacd. As of now, I would just focus on the weekly time frame up to the down to the 3D time frame, right? If we take a look at the weekly time frame, the Wmacd, it is still pretty positive, right? Nothing crazy. It is showing a strong bull trend. Price action now above the histogram, so that is a good news for the bulls, right? Once again, it doesn't mean price action cannot get rejected, but as of now, okay, as of March 30th, going into Q2 2023, bulls are still in control, right? And the lows are getting higher, so most bears most likely going to be getting in after we break out above 0.618 or even like let's say above 50%, and they're gonna be like, okay, that is it, we're in a bull run. And by then it could be like early May, mid-May, or even like up to June, and price action could be trying to reverse, right? In May, June, and all that good stuff. Okay, so something to basically keep in mind. Bear's been calling for lower prices since like a 15k, 16k after 77% drop. Okay, from 15k they said like we're going to drop down to 3k. Okay, they were looking for let's say 10k. Okay, from 15k they were looking for a 30% drop, right, down here. Let's say 40% drop, right, give or take. But price action just give us like almost a 90% move, right, from like a 15k to almost 29k and all that good stuff, right? So we'll see what we will get on a weekly basis, but got to pay attention to it. Let's take a look at it right here. If we take a look at it right there, right on Bitstamp, the weekly MACD been positive, right, since like August. And what happened right here back in August, we were bearish. We said, okay guys, just because our weekly MACD is positive, right, doesn't mean we're going to be reversing. Because back then we weren't paying attention to the weekly time frame, because it wasn't time to be paying attention to the weekly time frame, but it was time to be paying attention to the 3D time frame, right? So we got rejected at the 3D 21 EMA right there, right? And we said we're going to be retesting our lows, right, just by like a 18k to 17.5, and that's exactly what happened right here. Okay, so on a weekly basis, you got to pay attention to the MACD, and in terms of moving averages, right, the most important moving average on the weekly time frame going to be our weekly 21 EMA. As of now, it is at 22.6. Could we retest it in Q2? That's possible, but the earlier we retest it, the better it is. We don't want to retest it like, you know, late April, okay, or like early May. That'd be pretty bad. Okay, if we can retest it like early April, first week of April, or before the 10th and all that good stuff, that'd be great, because bulls will get enough momentum, right, for the rest of the month, right, in April to break out above the 31, 32k area and all that good stuff, right? And in terms of 3D time frame, right, the MACD, it is still positive. As I've been saying right here, we couldn't say like it was a divergence on a 3D basis. I wasn't looking at it as a divergence. Okay, I was like, okay, it is a positive momentum, we just don't know when we're going to get another negative crossover, so no need to be looking at it as a divergence. Okay, in terms of RSI, yes, you could say it is a divergence, but you just have to be very, very cautious, because the move we got right now, it is a new uptrend, right, and it could be doing something like that, just like the MACD. However, for whatever reason, okay, if we get an early rejection, right, and retesting our weekly 21 EMA, right, the 3D MACD could possibly flip negative. Okay, it could possibly flip negative, but we will just take it step by step, because even if we flip negative, we could get the double top, double bottom right here on the MACD and get a big momentum to the upside by retest, after retesting the weekly 21 slash 3D 21, basically 24 down to the weekly 21 EMA. The weekly 21 EMA, it is a moving average, so we cannot just say like we're going to retest it at 22,976. okay, within the next few weeks it could be above like a 25k, but we will just follow the weekly 21. If it retests it, find support, it could basically mean like a bull's going to be pushing higher. Once again, it doesn't have to retest it, it is just a support to pay attention to going into Q2 2023. All right, so hopefully it makes sense, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on the 2D basis. So if we take a look at BTC on the 2D basis, it doesn't look bad at all. Okay, even though it is moving sideways, no sign of a divergence, right? On the 2D, it is still making higher highs, right? MACD, once again, most bears going to be drawing a divergence and all that good stuff, but we will see, because I think like if it breaks out above the resistance trend line right there on our 2D RSI, we could get like some high volatility to the upside. Okay, we could get higher volatility to the upside. If it retests the 2D 21, that'd be a great support by printing a small double top right here and a possible double bottom, retesting the 21 EMA and pushing to the upside. Okay, so a very boring sideways correction. We just don't know what type of pattern we're going to get exactly, but it is just a sideways correction. Okay, and it doesn't have to retest the lows right there. Okay, 25, 26k area, it could blast off, okay, starting like April 1st, just like what happened back in April 2019, right there, just like what happened right here. April 1st just pumped to the upside. As you can see right here, back in April, it could have basically printed this move right there and still do something like that, but it didn't. right? It did not create a double top, double bottom. Instead of printing it right here, it printed a double top, double bottom right there around the 5K area, okay, in mid-April. Right there, okay. So that was the flat correction and a breakout to the upside. Created another flat correction right there. Was pretty ugly, but you know, you get the concept, okay. This one was a wick to the downside to fill up the gap and all that good stuff, okay. But most exchange did not dump down to the 6100, right, from you know, 8K area. So we'll see what type of a correction. You know, we got another double top, double bottom, similar to what we had back in 2019, right? Same exact move, right there. Printed another one right here in 2020, all right? Another one right here in 2022, another one right here in 2023. But this one going to be a small one if we're going to drop down to the you know, 25, 26K area, all right? So we'll see how it goes over the next like a few days and all that good stuff, okay. On the daily, just a boring sideways correction since like we broke out from 25K. Remember, 25K was our biggest resistance, right, since like August. We said it back in August when we were pushing like from 21K. We said 24, 25K going to be our biggest resistance, right? And you can see like we consolidated like starting like a early February, right? We consolidated just about like a 24.2, right, up to basically 25.2 area, and we just broke out above it back in you know, March 16th, just about like 2 weeks ago. So it makes perfect sense, right, for price action to be consolidating, waiting for April to either blast off, right, to the upside, or retest the previous resistance, right, and retesting it right here, consolidate, and basically be pushing to the upside. But as long as we can stay above the weekly 21/3D 21, it doesn't matter what type of a price action we're going to be printing right here, because we just don't know. It could be a boring sideways correction for the, you know, for the entire month of April. For instance, if we move sideways for the next like 30 days, I don't know, it'll be pretty boring if we move sideways for the next like 30 days till May, and then we start to break out in you know, in May and June, okay, and find our next local top before the next like downtrend and all that good stuff, okay. You can see right here we picked in you know, in March, and we did not break out till April. So a boring 30 days or even like 40 days of sideways correction and all that good stuff. So be mindful, right? It doesn't have to break out in April, but if it comes, you just know like, hey, the weekly it is still bullish, so I wouldn't be surprised for a you know, for a multi-week of you know, of an uptrend and all that good stuff, okay. On the 7-day cycle, you can see like, even though we've been moving sideways, you can see like the 7-day cycle, it is still pretty bullish, even on the Heikin-Ashi, okay. On the Heikin-Ashi, no sign of a reversal yet. Okay, no sign of reversal yet, right? Hey, what's up, Mason? Thanks a lot for tuning in. All right, so now let's take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis, right? So if we take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis, so most bears been calling for low prices, right? The entire quarter, okay, entire Q1. If you guys recall, in earlier January, I said, guys, it's time to be bullish. We already got our 365 days of a downtrend, right? Started like November 2021, right? Down to like November 2022, right? 365 days, Leroy, okay? To be exact, November 8th, we picked in back in November 8th, 2021, right here, our bottom, November 8th, right, 2022, and all that good stuff, right? So that is our first big pump, right, in terms of the quarterly. So we'll see in terms of resistance, our next quarterly resistance, it is going to be at mid 40s, right? Let's say 45 to a 48K area, right? So you just don't want to be extremely bullish, right? If we hit like a 45 48K area in Q2. Right? It could be a big challenge to break out above the 48K in Q2. Right? So it's something to basically keep in mind. And our next biggest resistance after that going to be like just about like a 58K. So we'll see if BTC over the next like a few quarters going into 2024 will be able to break out above 58. A breakout above 58 will come from the macro bull market, right? For the next possible peak all the way up to 180 to 200K, give or take, right? Depending on the volatility sometime in 2024, 2025. Okay, 2025 actually, okay? Because the 4-year cycle, most people are looking at the 4-year cycle in terms of tops, right? But you can also look at the 4-year cycle in terms of bottom. Our last bottom right here, December, right, 2018, and we got another bottom right here, November 2022. That's 4 years, okay? So our next bottom, you're looking at like a 2026 Leroy, okay? 2022 plus 4, right? 2026. So if you're waiting for the, for the last 3 months of the bull market to be buying BTC, you might be buying it like around like a 80,000, 100,000 and all that good stuff. Because once we hit 100,000, Moonboy is going to be coming out and saying like we're going to hit like a $1 million and all that good stuff. But on the quarterly basis, I said it multiple times, the best time to be buying BTC, it is at the quarterly 21 EMA. Regardless of how deep it dumps below it, right? Sometimes it can dip below it like a 15-20%, just like what happened right here. The quarterly 21 right now, we're closing above it again. That is a good news. Okay, and I said it back in 2021, November 2021. I was saying like if we dump on a quarterly basis, we got our quarterly 21 EMA around like a 20K plus minus 10%. And that's exactly where we found our bottom in Q2 2022. Moved sideways for like a 2 quarters, and now we're back above it. Right, so we'll see within the next like a few quarters if BTC will be able to break out above 48K. But I don't think we will be breaking out above like a 48, 58K in 2023, but we will see, because I think we're going to be moving sideways once we get our monthly MACD flipping positive, because most bulls or most bears actually, right, will flip bullish after the monthly time frame flips positive. Yes, it will be a good time still to be buying BTC, but you got to give time. You got to give it time to digest the previous move. Meaning like if we push all the way up to a 40K, 50K area, right, and the monthly MACD flips positive, we could be getting some sideways correction for like a, let's say 6 to 9 months, right? We could be getting some sideways correction, just like what happened right here back in 2019 after we pushed all the way up to 14K from like a June, right, all the way down to all the way up to March, right? We dumped from like a 14K down to like a 4K. Okay, it did not have to dump down to these lows, right? But it could have basically just moved sideways above the monthly 21 EMA, just like what happened back in 2015, 2016, right here. After we found our bottom, breakout above the monthly 21 EMA, price action moved sideways right here for like a 5-6 month. Okay, and basically pushed to the upside up to $800, give or take, retested the consolidation range before breaking out above all-time high. And the entire move from the peak to the next like a breakout above the previous all-time high just took like a 2.5 years. Okay, in terms of days, 1096 right there. Okay, just by like 1100 days. Right here it took like a 1095, right, just about like a 1095 right here. Okay, so if we're expecting another move like that, right, for BTC to be breaking above all-time high, we could be saying like, hey, we could be breaking our all-time high in 2024, right, sometime in either in Q1 2024. If you think like this move, right, if you think like our move right there. Let's do this. Yeah, sometime in April, you know, 2024. If you're taking like the first pick in, if you're taking the first pick at 64K, right? You could be saying like April 2024, BTC could be breaking all-time high. However, if you want to take the second pick as your initial pick, right? 1096 will take us all the way up to November 2024 before we break all-time high. It is a nice move, right? But based on the previous bull markets, right, it doesn't seem like BTC will be breaking above all-time high in 2023. Okay, and I've been saying it right here back in November, but you know, early November, I said exactly, guys, we already got our 365 days of the of the bear market, right? So no need to be extremely bearish, because we could be pushing to the upside at any given time, right? Going into Q1, Q2, 2023. And that's exactly what's happening right now, retesting our monthly 21. So if you've been following our channel long enough, when BTC was at 16K, 15K, 18K, we said, guys, bulls or buyers most likely going to be accumulating right here. So it is a good time to be accumulating before, you know, the retest of the monthly 21 EMA. And right now we're retesting our monthly 21 EMA. And we could possibly even go all the way up to our monthly 20 SMA, which is currently at 33. Let's get it exactly. Let's get it exact for Leroy. It is at 33K as of now. And the monthly 20 SMA was our support right here in Q2, actually Q1 2022. Just like the monthly 21 EMA was supporting the price. So we'll see over the next like a few weeks, right? The next like a 6 to 8 weeks, if we're going to be able to take out the monthly 20 SMA, right? And all that good stuff. Or even go all the way up to our quarterly resistance, up to basically mid 40s, 45 to 48K. Because you got to think about it, right? The only breakout we had back in 2022 was like in Q2, started like April 1st. That's why I've been saying like April is a turning point. Okay, so the only breakout we had in Q2, I mean in 2022 was like in Q2, right? Started like April 1st, 2022. And we were bearish, okay? We said, okay guys, we're going to dump all the way down to the quarterly 21 EMA, and we got that exactly. So it'll be challenging to take out that April 2022 highs, right? Just about like a 46 to a 48K, give or take, right? Mid 40s, right? So hopefully it makes sense for Leroy. So we got Pablo. Okay, Pablo is saying like it is at the monthly 21 EMA. Yes, it is at the monthly 21 EMA. A close above it, that'll be extremely good. Okay, if you recall in 2022, April 2022, what I was saying right here was like, hey guys, we closed below our monthly 21 EMA. That is it. And 9 out of 10, if you close below your monthly 21 EMA, you're going to dump 50%. That's the easiest price analysis you can remember regarding BTC. And we've been saying it even before like we dump below the monthly 21. We said it like in late 2022. We said, okay guys, we're going to find support at the monthly 21 EMA. We don't know how long it'll take to break it. However, if it closes below it, it could break it and dump like 50%. And you take a look at it, the monthly 21 EMA back then was right around like a 37K, you know, 50% below it, 17.5. Okay, give or take, right? 17.5, 18K. That's why we were targeting that, you know, 20, 21, 20K area plus minus 10%, because you just don't know at what price level you're going to get your final bottom. So a close above it, that'll be extremely devastating for the bears. because I think like most bears, right, going to be flipping the towers, right, once we hit 40K, 50K. Because they're going to be like, okay, now it's time to be looking for $500,000. And price action could basically just do them wrong and basically start to move sideways or even dump back down to the lows. Who knows? Because we only got two price history, right, to rely on. 2019 to 2020 area, right? And let's say 2015 to 2016. And none of these two price action, right, repeated the same pattern. Okay, this one right here, we did not dump 80% to retest the lows. Right here, we dump like 80% to retest the lows. So we don't know if BTC going to move above the monthly 21 EMA and move sideways, just like 2015, 2016, or if BTC going to be pushing above the monthly 21 EMA and dump 70-80% again. We don't know. Okay, we don't know, right? So you cannot be so confident like BTC will be retesting like a 15K, 18K. You can't be that confident. I'm not that confident. We'll see over the next like a few months, right, what type of price action we could get right here if we break out above the monthly. Okay, unless okay, we do not break out above the monthly 21 EMA and we retest the 15K areas, right, in Q2. That is also possible. It is possible, but as I said, we will need to watch our weekly time frame. As long as we're getting a positive MACD, price action above the weekly 21 EMA, right, we most likely, okay, not going to retest the lows. Okay, so something to basically keep in mind. We already talked about BTC in terms of Elliott wave in my previous live stream, so we're not going to go back through it. That way we're not going to be repeating ourselves and all that good stuff, right? So on a weekly basis, once again, just pay attention to your MACDs, right? On the weekly and 3D, a weekly negative MACD could possibly mean like 90% probability we're going to be tapping out. Okay, I would say like with 70 to 75% probability, if we get a 3D MACD, right, we could be pushing to the downside, but we will take it step by step. As I just showed you, right, the 3D MACD could flip negative within the next like a few days, but it might not be a reversal because it could print this move. Because most of you guys recognize this pattern on your MACD when you get your double crossover and still, you know, and still manage to push to the upside and all that good stuff, right? So hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so be ready for Q2. Hopefully it is not going to be a boring quarter, right? But it doesn't look like it. A positive MACD on the weekly, positive 3D, you know, price action above the 3D 21 EMA, price action above the monthly 21 EMA. I don't think we will get a boring phase over the next like 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, going into May and June and all that good stuff, right? Hey, what's up, Strengths? Pumping some irons in the kitchen. Thanks a lot for tuning in, man. All right, so I'm gonna take some questions, guys. I'm gonna cut it very short today, right? It's already 39 minutes. Wow. So let's take a look at OAX for MASON. So OAX, the good news is like, hey, you got your wedge pattern right here, broke out to the upside, now above the monthly 21 against BTC. You just don't want to break below the monthly 21. If we do, right, it simply means like you could be retesting the lows around like 150 to 200 sats. Okay, the next big resistance going to be the March 2019 highs, right, all the way up to like Whoa, that sucker is high, man. Like 11,000, 12,000. Right now we at 1,000. Okay, so you don't want to hold it at any given time in this range. Okay, so now we're getting rejected from the monthly 50. That's a good news. Okay, that's a good news. A nice sideways correction on the monthly. You could look at it as a bull flag. Just don't know how long it'll stay in this range. Yeah, I mean it looks good even on the weekly. Okay, but just check it out on the monthly. You know, if it breaks below 600 sats, that that could be pretty devastating, right? Because it could be pushing back lower to the 150 and all that good stuff. The monthly 21 resistance right here back in March 2019, right, around like 7,000, just like ICX one chain, right? I think 9,000, 8,000 back then, right? And this guy right here, another resistance, August 2020. That was before BTC decided to break out above all-time high. Everything dumped, right? So right here, you know, May 2021 rejection at the monthly 21. August 2021, right? Rejection at the monthly 21. So it's been doing pretty well whenever we're pumping, right? It's just like the monthly 21 EMA is not giving it enough time to breathe, right? But check out, just keep an eye on the 12,000 sats, right? So Genco Gold Adventures saying like, are we going to the moon? Yeah, you know, possibly we're going to be going to the moon, right? If we get a high, you know, a higher probability close above the monthly 21 EMA, okay? Over the next like a couple of months, okay? We want to close this month above it. We don't have to, but if we close above it in March, right, our probability to be going to the moon could be much higher. So let's take a look at XTZ formation, right? So XTZ, as I've been saying over the last few weeks, it looks like EOS. They got the same price action, not the same pattern, okay? Next upside resistance just about the $2 to 220 around the August 20 prices, right? 2022 prices right here, just about like a $2. If it fails to a breakout above the 145, we said last time 145 was going to be a big resistance, right? If it fails to a breakout above the 145, the retest of the 75 to a 70 cents area could be a nice double bottom before a breakout again up to the 145. All right, very challenging, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Okay, breakout from $1 to 110 area up to $2. That's going to be a big resistance, especially going into a Q3. Okay, if we retest the 75 in early Q2, that'll be great because it could give us a time to go back up to the 145 before the end of Q3. So either way, it is a win-win situation, right? It all depends on how it will play out. All right, guys, I'm just gonna, hey, what's up, Quiet Cook? Cooking some ADA and some XRP and some XLM in the kitchen, right? And dumping all the BTCs. At least you're not pumping ions in the kitchen like strings. All right, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, man. I'll see you guys in Q2, you know, within the next like 12 to 24 hours.